Ooh.
Ooh.
Spooky spooks.
Welcome to this episode of the Tammy and Wanda Show.
Hello, guys. Excuse me, my voice is about to go out because of all the screaming I've done.
All the spooky things you've witnessed.
So, last week we celebrated an anniversary and birthdays.
Oh yeah, we did it the lazy way. Husband and I decided, since our birthdays were 2 days apart, the 14th and the 16th, that the 15th we might as well just get married. That way we can't forget our anniversary. So
I mean, it works for me.
So sorry about the delays there, but we were having a little bit of a trip, so we won't have that problem going forward, I promise. Wink, wink.
So, hey, thanks for sticking in there with us, guys. This is episode 13?
13.
13. And what an ironic, bad luck 13, or lucky 13, however you want to look at it. We're talking about ghost tours.
And we didn't even do that on purpose.
We did not.
That was a happy accident.
That was exactly a happy accident right there. There are no mistakes here, only happy accidents. Thank you, Bob Ross.
Bob Ross is the best.
Bob Ross is
Do you think he's a ghost?
Oh, I would say so.
Like, who would he haunt? Would it be like the happy trees?
Would it be the happy trees?
Maybe
he is a happy tree.
That would be awesome.
That would be amazing.
If he was
And you know what's really funny is that my best friend Sean, his family, I went camping with them. I went to their camp, to their cabin. Sorry, Sean, not camp, cabin. Anyways, there are all of these awesome saws that are around the cabin that have beautiful paintings on them. Well, a friend that his mom and dad grew up with, mostly mom grew up with, actually got tutelage from Bob Ross.
No way.
And all of the saws have happy little trees on them.
Happy tree saws.
It is amazing. I'll have to show you the picture, and I'll even post it on our Facebook site so you guys can actually see it. They are amazing.
Wow.
You would have thought that Bob Ross did it himself.
That makes me a little jealous because that was like when we were growing up. That was Saturday morning TV, like before the cartoons and a little bit after. And
that was my sick day. Like, when I was really sick and I did not feel like moving, PBS came on, and Bob Ross came on at, like, noon.
He had such a comforting voice.
I was out for, like, 3 hours.
And you just listened to happy, happy little trees. And, blah, blah,
and
blah,
you know what's really crazy is that he was in the military.
Really?
Before he decided to paint.
I wonder if it was because of his trauma from the military that made him such a calm and sweet
I believe
human.
So. Could you imagine Bob Ross with, like, this very loud, like, get down, maggot, and give me 30. No.
I would love to see it because it would make me chuckle.
I would love to have a conversation with him. So anyways, we have some really cool stories, some experiences, and some places that you could go to. And if any of our listeners out there, if you have some really cool places
that you like to haunt yourself that have to do with ghosts, you let us know. Some of you did give us some of your favorite ghost stories, so we'll be telling a few of those as well.
We totally did some research this time, guys.
Oh my goodness. Research? What is that?
Research. You know, we like to go ass over tin cup all the time, but we make it work.
Make it work. Tim Gunn, another wonderful human. So while we were on our anniversary trip, we actually drove past my favorite place on our list of ghost tours. We went right by the exit for the Mansfield Reformatory, and that is where they filmed Shawshank Redemption, for those of you that may not already know that.
Fucking love that movie.
Oh my god, and it's so... You don't realize that movie is that long.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't feel like it, because it's so good, and you're so sucked in.
It's crazy. I love that movie so much for reasons I have no idea.
Because neither of us have ever been to jail that I can recall. Yeah.
And it's just a great group of actors. I mean, we have Morgan Freeman.
And
that was how it happened.
How do you not love Morgan Freeman?
I mean, his voice, he would put me to sleep any day of the week. I'm happy with that. Give me some Morgan Freeman ASMR.
Have you ever been to the Mansfield Reformatory?
Actually, I have.
Really? I've never had the chance. I'm not really into in-person ghost experiences. I'd rather watch it on TV.
I'm more of a sorry about that, guys. I'm more of a I will hear your experiences and stay back, but unfortunately I got conned into going to a haunted house. They normally have a haunted house thing there
during Halloween, I imagine.
Yeah, which surprisingly enough, I was not really scared because I was more fascinated by the place that I was at, because I love historical sites, because there's so many awesome stories, awesome experiences from tour guides that give you their experiences. So I'm going through Mansfield Reformatory, and everything, it looks so cool. Nothing was bothering me at all. Like, they're just like, oh, what are you scared of? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bleh. And I'm just like, whoa, look at all of that stuff. Like, how could they survive just having that small little square space? Well, towards the end of the haunted house experience, you walk up these metal stairs to go outside. Well, I was walking up the metal stairs. All of a sudden, I felt a hand grab my ankle.
Oh.
And it held on pretty tight, and I had to kind of like shake. And I'm just like, okay, whoever was under the steps, that kind of like freaked me out. And the people there were like, we don't have anybody there because that's a hazard. So, no one was there under those steps. And I'm pretty sure that it was a convict who was probably snagging at me, or an officer. Who knows?
Well, doesn't matter which one. Somebody grabbed you. And speaking of that place, fun fact, it actually closed in December of 1990 due to a court order. The prisoners got together and sued them. So due to the lawsuit citing overcrowding and inhumane conditions.
I can believe this.
So based on what you've seen, does that fit?
I mean, when I did go, of course, it's been closed down for a while. And of course, there's not a lot of, they did like revamp like a couple of places, especially when they do their tours without like the haunted house thing. But really going through a lot of there was like a lot of like, just, it was really just worn down. I mean, chip paint everywhere. And of course it's lead paint.
Of course it is. Yeah.
You know, and of course they had people with mental issues. So of course they were probably chewing on the chip paint. You know, and all of the spaces were so tiny, and I don't know how many men or women that they had in those confined places.
Right.
But it was so small that, I mean, it a lot smaller than some of my studio apartments I've had.
Places you've lived before.
You know, it was very scary, and imagining like 3 or 4 levels of people like above you, below you. Like, it was...
I think that's probably the most terrifying one we have on the list. And I would say that because I think the most people I know that have been out there, that's where I hear the most experiences from.
Yeah. Where
it's, I was touched or pushed or scratched, and I'm sure that they're not near as dramatic as our dear friend Zach Bagans.
Ghost Adventures! For most of our listeners, we have talked about Zach Bagans before.
And he's the one guy that I watched, and I'm like, it cannot be that scary. This guy has got to be, he's like the William Shatner of Ghost TV.
Of Ghost TV. I mean, because I have watched many ghost, documentaries.
Right.
A lot. I don't know how I do it, especially by myself. It's very freaky because I feel like I live in a haunted house right now. And some of our listeners, or some of our people that we reached out, who actually responded, are currently or have lived in haunted places.
Wow.
But like Dead Files.
Oh, which is love Dead Files.
I love Dead Files too. I mean, it is great. I would love for one of them to get back to me or something like that, because I would really like to pick their brains. But you don't want to antagonize those spirits. And what does Zach Bagans do? Man, he pokes the fucking bear.
He's the epitome of antagonist.
Oh, God. No wonder he gets all the shit.
The scratches and the followed home things. And we do have a quote from him, and it made me chuckle, which is why I wrote it down. But specifically for this episode, a Zach Bagan quote is, "The paranormal, you can't pick and choose. It's all or nothing." And yes, that vague notion is exactly what he is all about on Ghost Adventures.
It is. It's crazy. And I mean, I find EVPs very cool. And of course, watching a documentary about how you can trick your brain to hear things or see things that may not have been there or you heard. So every time that I would watch it with my best friend, we would close our eyes so that we didn't see the little subtitle thing that they have.
Yeah.
Because I want to know what they're actually saying instead of that type of comment being imprinted, and I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah, I can hear that, but now it's already in my head.
Right.
So it's
I do
very
the same
funny
thing though, because you can't believe, because how do you know one person's interpretation of what they're hearing is actually what the ghost is attempting to say?
This person said, "Kill me." Did he? Did he really?
Did he, Zach?
Did he, Zach? He didn't.
Well,
all I heard was "scare me up."
It does kind of sound like that most of the time, where it's like, he said, "Go to hell and die," and you're like, how? How does it sound like that?
The only one that I have laughed hysterically at is when they went to a place where a castle that was considered Dracula's castle, like in
Transylvania.
Yeah, in Transylvania, and they're like, "What is your name?" And it goes, "Vlad." The ghost said Vlad. Yeah, I heard that.
That's actually pretty clear. That's scary.
It's very scary. And actually on TikTok, there's a guy that has like an EVP box, and he will actually talk to like ghost celebrities. He actually talked to Robin Williams.
That's pretty cool.
And it sounded exactly like him too. So I'm skeptical.
But it's an interesting
thought.
It's
interesting.
Yeah.
It's an interesting thought that you can talk to the people that are on the other side.
All right, so who's the one person you would talk to if given the opportunity? Celebrity-wise.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just like, well, I would talk to my grandma.
Open-ended if it's anybody, but...
Yeah, because honestly, I would talk to my grandma because I know that she would be the most open with me. Going, this place is shit. I don't like this. That's why I'm sticking around so close to the veil. Celebrity-wise, probably Robin Williams.
For you, that makes sense.
Because he is totally my idol.
For me, it would be Freddie Mercury, 100%.
Oh, that would be my second.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
Flair for the dramatic. Of course he would talk to you.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm a ghost, honey girl. And I would love that. It would be great.
Like, it would just be amazing to actually talk to someone on the other side and finding out insane things. And of course, everybody has their idea about the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Or if there is a, that veil in between, a spirit world and the real world, and it's like, where's that gray line?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I feel like I'm pretty sensitive. I'm not going to say I am a sensitive or, anything like that.
Not close to what Amy on Dead Files can do necessarily, but
yeah.
Hear things.
I mean, I can't be like, Amy, is this what you saw? Yes, that's what I saw. No, I'm waiting for the one time when they go, Amy, is this what you saw? And she goes, no. Just kidding. Yeah, that is it. That would be me. That would be me. I would be the funny pun Amy. Like, no, that's not anything that I... just kidding. That's exactly what I saw. But, I mean, I feel like I did have a lot of experiences when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
When my grandfather passed away, and everybody was pretty much arguing over the entitlement of everything that he owned. Of course, he was my step grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
So his birth children and stepchildren and my grandma, his wife, were pretty much trying to decipher on how to set out the estate.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he left everything in my grandma's name, and of course, I made them very all upset. And I was out in the kitchen grabbing myself some water, and I thought that I heard the buzzsaw downstairs. See, when my grandpa he hated confrontation.
Mm-hmm.
He hated it. He got annoyed by it. He said whatever, and he would go down to his workshop. Literally, when the arguments all started, I could hear woodwork going on downstairs.
Right.
No one was downstairs. I had a really hard time going downstairs because that was his place.
That's kind of cool, though. That might have been his way of saying it'll be okay.
Yeah, he's like, enough is enough. I can't be here for all this shit.
I was gonna. I had something really bizarre happen to me at my friend Nikki's house, who I know listens to our podcast.
Hi, Nikki.
And, hi, Nikki. She lives, or her parents, live in this house in Sterling, Ohio, and any of you that know that area, it's down 585 going southbound towards Worcester, and it's on the corner of 585 and another main road that goes into Smithville.
Okay.
And I say that because it's their house has either been run into or accidents outside of their house happen quite frequently. And it used to be a bar many moons ago, so there's a lot of weird haunted activity. And I know Nikki's told me stories about when she was growing up there, she'd get grabbed by the ankle and pulled towards the end of the bed.
Oh.
And there was one time that a few of us were over at her house for a slumber party, and her brother, who was a year or so younger than us, his bedroom was at the very end of the hallway, and the computer, we were on AOL, which tells you how old we actually are, dial-up.
Back in the day.
And we were looking at, I think we were in a chat room talking to boys, because that's what you did then.
That's what you did then.
And we heard, and we just thought it was her little brother messing with us, because slumber party,
Yep.
That wasn't it. It was a door that was always locked to their back porch that was open and banging in the wind. And we locked it 3 different times, and it just kept happening. And we woke him up and made him sit with us, and we were right outside of her parents' bedroom at the time. And then this white light just came back behind us, and it got real cold, and it looked like it exited the front door. But we were all very calm, which was really weird considering the circumstance. And I'll never forget that. Now, could we have fallen asleep and I dreamt that? I'm not ruling that out, okay? But but I'm getting chills just saying that right now. So it was pretty freaky.
It's crazy. One of our listeners, Chris Ann, well, shout out to Chris Ann from one of our
she's one of our dear theater friends.
Yeah. They apparently, that was weird. Hey, my phone didn't want me to.
I know. It's almost like they didn't want you to tell the story because her phone has been on to the comments this whole time.
The whole time. And then it just completely switched.
Disappeared.
It disappeared.
The ghost did it.
Okay, whoever is in here.
Relax. We won't talk about you.
It's okay. We're not going to speak about you.
You're safe.
You're in a safe place. We don't have a Ouija board out. Story time before I get onto this. Sorry, Chris. My mom told me this story. Her and her friends had a Ouija board.
Uh-oh.
Okay?
That's always dangerous.
I know. This could be the most amazing prank, or this actually did happen. They got on the Ouija board. It moved. They freaked out. They took it outside. They threw it in the trash.
Oh, my goodness.
The next day, they got up from their sleepover, and it was back on the table in the same spot.
Yep, that would be getting set on fire. I'd move, burn the house down, whatever. No,
I'm like, ah! Well, and apparently, not from Ghost Adventures, but from Ghost Hunters.
Oh, another good show.
Another good show. They claim that if you are in a high lime scale area,
Oh, which
lime
Ohio
scale,
is.
yeah, lime scale is kind of a conductor for sensitivity.
Interesting.
Isn't that crazy? There's a lot of things that I've learned. So back to Chris. They lived in a house, her and her family, that had been cleansed by a paranormal clergy team prior to moving in, which that's pretty insane. Like, I mean, they had to do like
paranormal clergy team is a whole new term for me. That's pretty
I know. Amazing. I mean, I gotta keep some sage around. That's what I'm gonna have to do. Lots of crystals, everything like that. But that's pretty insane that you would have to. I mean, I've heard a lot of people say that they had like somebody go in and, you know, cleanse their house.
Usually you have like a priest come and bless it, and then you have like maybe a Wiccan friend come and sage the house and put like good juju in the house. But
yeah,
I didn't know they worked together in a paranormal clergy team. That's pretty fantastic.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I mean, there's, with Dead Files, I mean, they do give you a lot of suggestions on what to use. Tar water.
I'm always scared when Amy says, "Yeah, I think you need to move."
Oh yeah,
She doesn't say that lightly.
No. And when she finds out that people have been like trying to speak to the dead and like antagonize them and bring all these, you know, unprofessional paranormal teams to come in and talk to them and stuff, and she's like, whew, all these spirits are really pissed off right now, and I don't really understand why.
Don't mess with them.
Don't mess with the ghost people. There actually is a story from my friend Sean. When his grandfather passed away, it was very funny. We all talked about our grandfathers at some point. He was sitting in his grandfather's chair at their house, and I mean, parents and grandma were doing something else, but he was sitting there. The ties on his sweater lifted up and then sat back down. I'm like, dude, and he's had a lot of experiences because, of course, he is from Canal Fulton, and him and his high school buddies would always go and find the weirdest places to paranormal it up.
And you know, some of the places that you should check out if you are in Ohio, if you need a list, a great resource is the Ohio Exploration Society. It's in Stark County, and they go over hauntings and legends in the area. And they cover like Wayne County, Summit County, Stark, obviously. And I know that they have ghost hunting apps that if you're interested and you want to join a club, I wouldn't do it lightly without researching first, because that gets you into some hot water, scary business, and they can follow you home and stuff. So I
mean, that's some bad juju you don't want to take home with you.
But if you just want to tour some local haunts, there's Spring Hill House here in Massillon.
Yep.
Ghost Tours of Zor, which I have done. That one is pretty creepy.
Oh.
The Haunted History Walks of Canal Fulton, where Sean's from. And there is Rogues Hollow and Crybaby Bridge and a hot zone in Doylestown, where a lot of activity happens.
That is a major hot zone. That's where Sean took me.
That's where my mom and her friends would go, and that's where me and my friends would go. So.
Like there was this creepy legend, and I'm sure all of the Canal Fulton people that live there obviously know this. But there is a legend that you don't want to look at anybody that is from Clinton/Doylestown, because if you look at them, you may possibly die.
Is it because it's a hotbed of activity there?
Probably.
Oh, that's scary.
I mean, Sean and his friends took me to Crybaby Bridge.
Oh, I hate I've been there many times.
We sat there, and of course the story behind it is that, you know, a mother couldn't take care of her child and left the baby there to die. I think that's what it was.
I also heard that a slave got hung there and lynched. So
it's
it could
very
be
possible
one or both,
because in Canal Fulton they have a canal that they do canal tours, and right off of the canal where, you know, a lot of Irish immigrants helped build that canal and stuff. There is actually a door in one of the old houses by the canal that is to the canal. That is where a part of the Underground Railroad is a part of.
Yeah.
So they would hide slaves in Canal Fulton to get them
up to Canada, most likely.
Yeah, to get them out of town, get them out of Dodge.
Speaking of our Canal Fulton people, I remember Dave had a story.
Oh yes, our good friend Dave Van Gosbeck.
Hi Dave, what's
up? In Canal Fulton, they have a ghost tour, as we did say. It goes by the old Pioneer Graveyard on River Road. I've actually been there. I've actually stood in there. It is very creepy. It definitely has that sense of there's
dread
something there.
There's something watching you.
There's something there. One night while the tour was going on in Canal Fulton, I was on lockup duty at the church, the local church there, the United Methodist Church. As the tour reached the graveyard, I happened to open the door of the church to see if it was locked on the outside. The resounding bang of the door sent at least 15 people diving to the ground. He had a great laugh. They probably shit their pants.
Yeah, a little bit. I would have. That would have scared the bejesus out of me.
Oh, it would too. It would scare the living hell out of me. There's a strange house going towards Rogues Hollow that is off the beaten path. You have to walk through all these cornfields to get to it.
Oof.
Scary as hell. I couldn't go inside. I stayed outside.
Cornfields themselves are scary enough.
I mean, Children of the Corn.
Ugh. Nope.
Yep. No way, Jose. But Sean and group went there many a times, and he said that there's a huge hot spot up top on the second floor. He walked up there and went to one of the rooms and heard behind him, "Hey." No one was behind him. Everyone else was downstairs.
Just like that? Or
Yep.
was it like, oh.
Yeah. I've actually been in an office where my mom worked formerly. We were in there cleaning one weekend, and I heard, "Hey, Courtney." And I turned around, and I'm like, "Yeah? Who? Hello? Mom, did you call my name?" She's like, "No, I didn't call your name." "Hey, Chelsea, did you call my name?" "No." "Okay. I'm here, thanks."
Things are happening.
Things are happening here. I've heard unexplained bangs. I've heard names. I actually went to a graveyard with my friend Sean. As you can see,
there's a pattern here.
There's a pattern here.
Yep.
With one of my phones, I actually had an older generation phone. This was way back when. We had gotten to this particular spot in the graveyard. My phone goes off, and I answer it, and I'm like, "Hello? Hello?" And it was very, like, I'm like, "Okay, hello? Is anyone there?" And they're like, "Hi, I'm here."
And we don't know who it was, or...
Didn't know who it was. It was a caller ID of one of my friends. And when I asked him the next day, I was like, "Did you call me?" And he's like, "No, I didn't call you at all." My phone never went off after I left that spot. So whoever was there, you were there.
They let
I
you know.
heard ya. I heard you through my phone.
Significantly creeped out. Those of you that are watching have seen me significantly crawl into like a little bit of a ball and get a little bit smaller as the stories go on. We are out of time for today.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to go calm down with a delightful alcoholic beverage. But we will see you next time to celebrate the birth of Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye to you too, viewers.